Okay, let's get this started here. Give me 1 second to hop over to here. This should be good to go. Hopefully it's not lagging. It looks like it might be a tiny bit low FPS. Well, maybe that's just my preview. We'll figure that out. Anyways, starting off, I want to add something to this. I'd like to put some text on here, if possible. Can I get... Just give me this, yes, and I want the text to not say new follower. I want the text to say... Xbox One. We're going to just update this as we go to show whatever the current version that we're using is up in the corner there. So at the moment, this is the Xbox One version. And yes, hopefully everybody's having a good day. We are here today with Goldeneye 64, Goldeneye 007. I'm not really sure what the official name for this is anymore. Back in my day, it was Goldeneye 64, and that's what it's been for the last 26 years, I believe it's been. And this game's never gotten a port or a re-release until today, when it got 2 of them, unrelated somehow. It has been released on both the Nintendo Switch via their Switch expansion pass for N64 games, and on Game Pass for Xbox Series X and S, as well as Xbox One. They were a little vague on whether or not it would work on Xbox One, so I wasn't actually sure if I was going to be able to do this today, because they're very emphasizing that it's optimized for Series X and S. However, it is just a port of the N64 game. I don't think you need to worry too much about optimization here. This is a very, very old game. If the Xbox Series X cannot handle a 26-year-old Nintendo 64 game, I am in very deep concern for the state of Microsoft. But thankfully, it seems like it handles it just fine. We're just kind of sitting here in the multiplayer menu for a second while I'm discussing what we're going to be taking a look at today, because this doesn't kick me back to a looping intro cinematic every now and then. Yeah, this is effectively just a port. They didn't really go in and do much as far as like texture work that I can see or anything like that. It's the original game just brought up to, I think it's running at 1920 by 1080, I believe. A little difficult to tell, to be honest with you, a lot of the time, but it is running at a slightly higher resolution than what you would have seen on the Nintendo 64, as far as I can tell. And it bit of an odd one. The Xbox version only supports local multiplayer, so you've got your traditional, local multiplayer setups. I haven't done much as far as playing, so we've still got quite a few locked levels and stuff down there I haven't messed around with yet. You've got characters. Let's actually take a look at something here. Okay, because I've barely played the game, I haven't unlocked anyone yet. I'm curious to see. There were several other characters, I'll have to find this out later, that were older James Bonds in the N64 version, like the Connery James Bond and Roger Moore James Bond and stuff like that, that may have had some copyright issues. So I'm curious to see if they're going to have made it in on this version. I don't know how direct they were able to port this over. This game's been sitting in kind of copyright hell for a very long time. I guess we'll just jump right in and we'll talk a bit about this right now. I basically played the first level just to test to make sure everything's working right. I think we're gonna go with Secret Agent for this so that I can hopefully talk and still play at the same time, ideally. It's actually significantly easier to do this on the Xbox version, which we'll take a look at. And yeah, we'll just kind of dive right in. You've got all your traditional screens and everything you're used to seeing here, your background, your briefing. All of that is pretty much direct ported over from the N64 version. Again, pretty classic text here. As you can see, it's running in 16 by 9, so it is running in native widescreen. And it looks like it isn't distorting the image at all, so they did actually adjust the render of this to get it to run at widescreen without, stretching it, which is nice to see. Controls, we've got what you'd expect for a modern shooter: left stick, strafing, and forward and back, and then looking around with the right stick. The Xbox version is fairly smooth. I found the sensitivity was a little low by default, but it does include a sensitivity slider. X to reload, right trigger to fire, left trigger to aim, although because of the addition of modern aiming, all that does is put the crosshair on the screen and your controls remain the same, which I kind of like, to be honest. The ability to like continue to move while you're in aim mode, but just have the cursor on screen, kind of a nice touch. Bumpers cycle through your weapons. You can also cycle through weapons with Y. You've got crouch on B, activate items on A. Other than that, yeah, pretty much just what you'd expect from a game. We can take a quick look here at the menu, which does narrow the screen into, what is that, 4:3 aspect ratio, it looks like. You got your weapons list. Again, this looks like it's, I think this is natively running at 1920 by 1080. Looking at the polygon there for the gun icon spinning in the background, it's not as pixelated as it would be if it were running at its native resolution. So that does look like it's rendering, but anything that's, a flat bit of text ported over from the original, like the text here on the screen, is still going to look a little blurry just because of resolution settings. We do get this lovely weapons or controller selection screen here. You can pick from a variety of the traditional options, as well as going in and manually adjusting any of the settings you'd like to. This is basically the default settings that it comes up with right off the bat. There are a bunch of other settings you can toy around with if you want to, and you can adjust your dead zone and look sensitivity for stuff. I've got my look sensitivity whacked up to about 3/4. That seems to be about where I'm happy with, but the fact that you can adjust that is very nice. You've got all your sliders here. If you want to adjust music sound effects, you can adjust your aiming up and down. It does default to upright, which is more traditional for modern shooters, although back in the day, reverse aiming was kind of the standard, so we'll get to that in a minute. Auto aim is, I've got it set to on for now. It's just what it defaulted to. All the rest of this is whatever the default is. Your look ahead is on off. Which makes sense for a game where you actually have two sticks to control. In the original, it would have probably defaulted to on if this even had that option, because of the single stick control scheme that the N64 was working with. Rest of this all pretty much makes sense. You can again adjust your screen size and ratio, all that, if you want. You've also got your aim, lock, and your rumble. I don't actually remember what the hell these do, but options are good. More options are better, so this is all fine. Other than that, pretty traditional screens that we're used to seeing from Goldeneye there. And we can just kind of dive in. But yeah, talking a bit more about these. Oh, they're getting a little bit of a. I've heard about this on Twitter actually when I was mentioning that I was playing this. The Xbox version apparently has had the occasional bit of a stutter or frame rate hiccup, which is a little odd for, again, an N64 game running on the Xbox, and even more odd when we discuss the history of this game's ports. Overall, it's a pretty competent port of the N64 version. You got your modernized controls, which is very nice. I wouldn't mind a constant on crosshair, but I'm spoiled. That's fine. Let's just the painted dot in the middle of my screen. Okay, hold up. I'm missing somebody. There should be one more. Yeah. Should be one more guard here. Where is he? Hello? Oh, we're good. Hey, Piggy, how's it going? Yeah, this game's been stuck in copyright hell for a very long time. The details of it are a little scarce, likely due to legality reasons. I'm sure a lot of the parties involved aren't entirely free to discuss the details of this stuff. But there had been some attempts to port this to more modern consoles over the years, all of which got blocked due to a variety of copyright reasons, which comes into play with the fact that this has copyright license from MGM Studios, Eon. I don't know if Nintendo has any claim to this, seeing as it was originally a Nintendo exclusive. Rare, the company that made the original game, has some copyright on this. You've got all the actors, appearances and likenesses that appear in here that would have to sign off on any copyright. which made porting this to any console a bit of a nightmare, which is why we haven't seen a port for 26 years. And from what I understand, the fact that this came out twice today is a complete coincidence. Apparently both Nintendo and Xbox had independently been working on a way to get it onto their consoles, and like it just kind of ended up happening that they decided that they were ready at the same time. The original reveal trailer for them came out on the same day, but separately. It kind of seemed to be that I think it was Xbox released theirs first, and it looked like maybe Nintendo just kind of slapped something together real quick as they like, hey, we've got one coming out too. Alright, cool, landed it. That is honestly a ridiculously tricky shot. The way the weapons in this game arc can be a bit of an obnoxious throw. Compared to the original, it is running at 1920 by 1080, which is nice. The view distance is weird. We'll get to that in a minute. We see some fade in a lot in this, where like as you get closer, stuff fades in, but the overall like draw distance seems to be much higher. Like there's no fog, which the N64 had some fog. But we're getting, yeah, this like significantly increased view distance, but you'll see fade in on some of the objects and actors. So if you go far enough back, some of the switches and stuff just won't be visible, and they'll just kind of fade in as you get closer, which I don't believe is how that worked on the N64. I've seen one or two minor little frame rate stutters on here, which isn't great, but it's also not like game breaking. I wouldn't say like, oh my god, I would never play this because of the minor frame rate stutters. Also, I missed a fucking alarm, but we'll hit it on the way out. That's fine. Let's clear this out. Other than that, sound seems fine. All the graphics stuff seems fine. The controls are very nice on the Xbox version. We'll get to the Switch version in a minute when we get to that. But overall, this plays nice and smoothly. Like, seems to be going well. I feel like I have significantly more ammo on the Xbox version, and I can't explain why. Let me watch how much ammo I'm picking up here per grab. Okay, so 46 and then 61. What is that? 49, 64, so 25 per rifle? We'll compare that to the Switch version in a minute. It's a little weird that the Xbox version doesn't have online multiplayer. The Switch version does, although I haven't tried it yet. I'm kind of wondering if it's just going to be like split screen local multiplayer, but it's accepting controls from, you know, remote sources. If you happen to have a Switch and you want to join me for some online multiplayer, let me know and we can set something up, and we can maybe give that a shot while we're streaming. If you have, it's part of the expansion packs. If you happen to have the Switch Online expansion pack, you own this right now. Admittedly, the Switch version, not the Xbox version, but we'll get to that in just a minute. Alright, start the data backup, and then we just need to blow one last alarm and get over the dam, and we're out of here. Actually, to be fair, is blowing the alarms an objective on Secret Agent? I'm so used to playing on 00 that I don't... Maybe it isn't an objective on Secret Agent. Maybe you just need to plant the modem, offload the data, and then get out? That's possible. No, I did miss one. Okay, that's fine. There we go. Also, let's take a quick look. Can we see? Yep, the island is intact. This was the source of... Well, you know, as long as we're playing this version, screw it. We'll go take a look down there. This was the source of many a schoolyard rumor back in the day. That to unlock various cheats or alternate game modes or whatever, you would have to, like, blow the island over there up or hit it with a rocket or something. Apparently there was a talk from one of the developers a few years back that there was originally going to be another objective where you would have to take a boat over there and disable the like anti-air battery on the island. which would aid you in your escape, but that got cut from the final game because they just couldn't get it working in time for release. They decided it wasn't really a priority. But the island remains. We should be done with this for now. Huh. Off we go. And let's take a look at the absolutely terrible time I got because I was talking and wasting time. We're looking at, 8 minutes and 2 seconds. Fantastic. Target time at 2:40. Think I could hit that? Wait, no, not agent. Back up. What are my objectives here? Neutralize alarms, bungee from platform. Oh, I don't even need to do the modem? Oh, 240, that's easy. Hold up, no, I can unlock that cheat now. As long as we're doing this, let's get some cheats unlocked. There's achievements in this too, which is pretty sweet. Alright, let's go. Oh, a tiny bit of a stutter there. We're fine. And yeah, we're getting some chonky frame rate here. Alright, see if this helps any. No, it's still chugging just a tiny bit. Not like terribly, but there. You can see that switch there just kind of fading into existence. Pardon me. Alright, if I don't need to worry about the alarm, then let's get the hell out of here. If I can get that guy lured down, that would be pretty ideal. Alright, one. Yeah, every now and then, just the tiniest little hiccup. It's not like super bad. It's like, it feels like it's dropping like 1 or 2 frames every like minute or two. But it's noticeable enough. Like, it definitely feels like there's a tiny bit of slowdown. Hopefully something they can address. It would be a shame if one of the only versions of this that were available were having like technical issues on a 26-year-old game. Alright, that should be fine. Good lord. Alright, off we go. Let's see how this looks. That should be under 240, hopefully, right? Oh, 154. Easy. I will take that. Let's take a look at what we actually get there. Cheat options. What did that unlock? Paintball mode. Fantastic. Oh, hey. And we got an achievement for that. Fantastic. Alright, it shows the cheat multiplayer or whatever if you're doing that. Very cool. Alright, anyways. We'll take a look at Facility 2. We'll just kind of take a look at the first 2 levels of each, I think. The hell? Why is it telling me about my weekly quests on Game Pass? The hell is that all about? Get out of here, Xbox. I only plugged you in for Goldeneye. Don't get any ideas. There we go. Alright, that should do it. And I will take some ammo for these. Whoa. Yeah, I mean, we got the dual re-release of it today, so if you're interested in playing it and you own either a Switch, back up, or an Xbox, today's the day. And with Game Pass and Expansion Pack, it's thankfully, like, basically free. Alright, out of here. Grab the body armor. Keep on working our way through. We're good. Oh, hi. Now we need to see if the doctor's around. Is the doctor in? Not in here. Okay, we're good. I hear more coming, which is a little bit of a concern. You're not who I need, and neither are you. Alright, we're good. I mean, so far this has been reasonably, like, other than a couple of little frame rate stutters earlier, it's been reasonably well behaved. Remotely controlled. Oh, right. Can I just do this? No. Alright, we're fine. What? How'd you get in here? Yeah, little bastard. Good old unlimited enemies. That's fine. We'll just open the door from here and move around that way. Oh. I think I may have made a friend. Objective A complete. I should probably look at my objectives at some point, so I know what I'm actually supposed to be doing. Oh god. Okay. Doak, do you want to get out of here? Oh god. Oh god. Okay. We're good. What do we have for objectives? I don't even remember what the hell I'm supposed to be doing here. Rendezvous with 006, destroy all tanks, minimize... Okay, that's easy. We're good. Should just be down here, and then I think I have to manually go into the decoder? Yeah. This not... Why not... How do I do this? Hello? Am I doing this wrong? Is it this key card that I need? Could have sworn this was how you did this, but... Are we feeling okay here, game? There we go, okay. Just took it a second to decide it was ready. We're fine. One on there, one on there, one on there, one on there, and one on there, and then let's see if we can get you on maybe back a ways from that, please, so that you don't explode. Would be pretty nice. That should be far enough, right? Okay, are we good? Is that everything good? I think that's everything good. We're just gonna leave. Bye. Alright, fine. That'll do just fine. I guess we got time for... We'll do, like, the first little set of missions here. Don't remember what all these, like, how you unlock all the multiplayer levels and characters and all that stuff, but we can take a quick look at these real... Burn through the special agent difficulty. That's not too bad. Oh, what have I got? Oh, God. Now try gunning for 205. Sure. If you're not familiar with that, a lot of the cheats in this game are on, like, time-sensitive unlocks. So, like, beat a level on a certain difficulty in a certain time to unlock the cheats, and there's a particularly famous, I think it's Facility 00 agent in 205, which is absolutely lightning. Like it's doable, but you gotta really have a route down and know what you're doing, or you are not getting that done in the time they want. And there's a tiny bit of luck involved as well. Alright, are we good? Can I just like... Oh, I don't want the timed mines. There we go. We're fine. Let's take care of these. I can't remember, do I actually need to blow these up for this difficulty? Should probably take a look at that before I waste any time with this, huh? Oh, yeah, we're good. Okay, all I gotta do is leave now. And do it before the plane blows up. Alright, sweet. You can actually have that plane blow up on you if you take too long, which is, not ideal. Minute 27, super short level. Screw it, we'll go for one more. Some of these, I forget how short some of these are. Maybe we'll go through like Silo. Silo's pretty fun. Fly away. Alright. What are my objectives for this? Oh, we should take a look at these here. Safe key, power down dish, building plans, enter vent. Alright, done. If we get any slowdown, I wouldn't be surprised if we get it on this level, because man, this is absolutely enormous map. And yeah, a little bit of view distance fog, but not as bad as you would have seen on like the N64 version. Which means I need to remember where the hell everything in this level is, which I definitely do not. Somebody was shooting at me. I don't know where they went. Alright, what have we got in here? Grenade rounds. Interesting. I need a safe key and the building plans and powering down the dish. The dish should be pretty easy. Is one of them in the little outbuilding over here? There's like a little building out here with like a... What is a camera on it? Maybe the camera's only on the 00 difficulty? That's possible. We're good. Okay, I got the key. And I'll take a grenade launcher. Assuming these are grenade rounds? Okay, apparently they're not. Who cares? Alright, we're good. Let's power down the dish on the way past and then check down that little side passageway. I can never remember what's where on this map. Okay, we want that. I don't think there's anything in that one, but we want to go up here because this is where we power down this dish, if I'm not mistaken. Should just be right through here. Are there cameras on this difficulty? It doesn't look like it. I think you just blow this up. Wait, what? Oh. Apparently you activate that, not blow it up. Fair enough. Silly me for thinking that you could power down the dish by destroying the power controls. That would be... I feel like that would power it down, just maybe not, like, correctly. But I don't know why we would care about powering it down correctly. That's fine. Alright, so I don't actually need anything out of there, so I guess we can skip that. Dust you, and we'll head over and grab the key right away, and then swing by there on the way back. There's my key. Oh, come on, we're good. Away you go. I think if we cut just outside here, we should be fine. And then, is it what? Through here across we activate the thing? Yeah, bye. Okay, dish powered down. Slip past you. Okay, so safe key. I think that's the key that I got, right? And we need to access the safe, and I think the safe is all the way at the end here. Like, camera on this? No. Alright, we're good. All the way at the end here in one of these. Oh, there is a camera there, which I am just barely going to hit before they manage to pop the alarm. Alright, we're good. No, that's not it. Is it this building here, then? Oh, what the hell is going on there? Are you guys getting those static pops and graphical glitches, or is that just my capture card having a fun time? Okay, I could have sworn the safe was over here. Am I wrong? Is the safe back over here? Or actually, come to think of it, is the safe in that one locked building that we went past right at the beginning? I suppose that is also possible. Oh no, here we go. Safe is locked. What the hell? Oh god, we're gonna be here the rest of our lives. I got a key. Is that not the key that I need? Or is this a key that opens a building that gets me the key to the safe? That's probably what I'm looking at here. What? Okay, some graphical issues. Oh boy. 26-year-old game, and it's just barely holding itself together. Okay. I think... Okay, what if we check here? This was locked earlier. I've got this now. Aha! Safe key. And now we can get on back. Okay, so hit that building over there, then come back to grab the key. Then pop the safe. Got it. Alright. I would hate having to try to figure out the route for this. If you were doing a speed run, like actually going through and trying all the different, like, which place to go first, that would be such a pain in the ass. Like, thankfully, nowadays, if you want to speed run it, you can just watch some other people's routes and get some ideas that way. People have tested all of this, but, like, my god, trying to figure this out for, like, the unlock cheats, that sounds like a nightmare. Okay, there's that complete. Is that everything I need to do? Yes, so now we just need to enter the base via the ventilation tower, which is just south of this. I don't know why my brain has this map laid out as like that's the north and that's the south, but for some reason it does. No clue. Maybe like many years ago I saw like a map of this in a guidebook or something and it had it laid out that way and my brain has just adapted to that ever since. No clue. I wonder if there's any other video game maps like that that I've just like subconsciously assigned compass directions to that don't actually have like official compass directions. Alright, in we go. Alright. Yep. Oh, another achievement. What have we got? Dual wielding. Complete surface 1 on any difficulty. I wonder why the hell that's called dual wielding. Is that the first level you get the option to dual wield by killing somebody? There's the guard in the one tower there that does have a, I think you can get a dual wield set off of him. Dual wielded clubs? Drop surveillance, copy Goldeneye key, leave, photograph main view screen. Alright, easy enough. Watch out for cameras, including behind you. There we go. Why don't we just neutralize the alarms here too, so that I don't have to deal with that. Hello? Okay, security key card. That's a good one. Well, speaking of dual wielding, okay, I see another camera. Fuck off. See a camera up there. Can I hit that from like here? Nice. Alright. Get you down. Is there a camera up here? No, we're good. But I haven't gotten the notice that all the cameras are defeated, so I think there must be one more we still need to get. Hello? Oh, it's you. We're good. Okay, take a picture of the screen. That's easy enough to do. Through here. And then I think I can probably copy the key analyzer. There we go. Right now on the way back over to the other camera. Are you good? Is there not a camera in here? Okay, where the hell's the last camera then? There's two different versions of this level, and I'm getting them mixed up in my head as to what's where. I apparently missed a camera somewhere. Alright, there we go. So now we just need to leave. Easy peasy. Definitely could have done that a lot faster, but that's fine. Are there guards here? There are. And Boris as well. I don't actually need you to take me to the mainframe terminal, I don't believe. I think that's a perfect agent, or a 00 agent. I'm going to be saying perfect agent occasionally, by the way, because I've played far more Perfect Dark than Goldeneye. Alright. Another one down. I think next up is Silo? Yeah, Silo. Alright, this is a fun one. Where are my objectives, actually? Photograph satellites, obtain telemetric data, retrieve satellite circuitry, and minimize casualties. Okay, circuitry, data, and casualties. I don't need to worry about planting the explosives in the fuel tanks. Alright. Alright, explosive charge is primed, cool. Oh god. Maybe we just, Oh god, okay, that went terribly. Auto aim is not that good. Alright, we'll just let him kill me. We'll just reset that, that's fine. It's surprisingly long time to kill me. Right here, come on. There you go. Alright, try that again without absolutely butchering the first hallway. We're fine. There is no excuse for losing that much health on the first hallway. Away we go. I know, right? We'll get to some more on Goldeneye and Xbox after the Switch version as well. This is not what I would consider the best possible version of Goldeneye. It's, I believe, currently the most easily available version. Game Pass makes this quite accessible, but it is definitely not the Hello? Oh. Keycard, right. Right. And sadly, no Xbox Live, like, online, which the Switch does have. It's the first time I've ever seen the Switch be able to, like, boast online multiplayer features that another console doesn't have, which is a little bizarre. I've never seen Nintendo actually, like, offer something, you know, better than Xbox on their multiplayer. Oh, just caught the edge of that. Alright, we're good. Alright, I should have enough ammo now. We can switch over to this. Okay, minimize scientist casualties does not mean no scientist casualties, thankfully. Oh my god. Alright, we're good. Got a circuit board, got what I needed. Keep moving. I believe there's going to be, yeah, a couple of guards to the left, and the way forward to the right. Oh my lord. Oh god, we might be in trouble here. Oh my god. Just a couple of them. Yeah, there was a leaked version, yes, which we'll be taking a look at in a bit. I'm saving that one for last because it's definitely the best one. Alright. We'll see if I can even finish this mission. I might not be. Is this not the satellite? Maybe this isn't the satellite. I don't know. Whatever. We'll keep moving. Okay. Oh. Ah, that's fine. Alright. I wanted to get to Silo at least. We'll call that the Xbox version for now, because we have other versions to take a look at here. We've done about 45 minutes of this to show off how it works. It works more or less fine. It's got reasonably upscaled graphics for the 1080p. The multiplayer is all there. Let's take a look if we actually unlock anything for that. I have no idea. Do we unlock any characters or anything? I don't remember how this character unlock system works in this. No, maybe you have to beat the game once to unlock the characters. No clue. Levels, do we have any new levels? No, there's still a few down at the bottom here we haven't unlocked. It looks like... What's not locked yet? Egypt? Oh god, that's hard to see. I can't quite tell what these are here. Xbox indeed, yes. But we're done with the Xbox for now. We're gonna, here, real quick. We're gonna pop a BRB up real quick here, and I'm gonna need to do some fanciness. We're gonna need to pull some cables and stuff here. Give me 1 second. we're unplugging this, and then how do I do this? If I want this to plug into you, wait, first I need to go over here, hold a moment, turn this off, and unplug this cable and plug it into here. And then we pull these Joy-Cons out of here and plug them into this. Okay. Why does it think I'm player 3 on one Joy-Con and player 2 on another? I mean, I'm not. Joy-Cons, are you feeling okay? Can I just like force my Switch to power down for a second and then we'll power it back up and hopefully that'll fix this? Yeah, the remastered version would have been very nice. That's true. I don't know why no one wants to make money. Although I'm assuming it's copyright. I'm assuming it's just copyright issues. Use without resetting. Okay, cool. And then I want to close this. And then we need to go back into here and I need to open up game capture and then go over to okay, that seems good. So now we go back over to here. And where is my... Yes, we need to change this because this is no longer the Xbox One, would you believe? We are now over onto the Switch. And if you have the Switch and you happen to have the fancy expansion pass, you pop into here, and when you load into your list of fancy Nintendo 64 games that you have available to you, right at the very top, you should have a brand new unlocked Goldeneye, taking up an inordinate amount of real estate space on the game select screen. Also, if you haven't seen this, for what you get, couple of Mario parties, Pokemon Puzzle League, odd. The original Pokemon Snap, that's pretty cool. Kirby 64, Mario Golf, Wave Race. You get both of the Zeldas, which is pretty cool. Banjo-Kazooie, which is a fantastic game. Mario Kart, Dr. Mario, F-Zero, Tennis, Star Fox, which is fantastic. The original Mario 64. And apparently Yoshi's Story as well, which is a damn good game. I actually might play that at some point. I didn't realize this was on there. But yeah, we can jump into this and take a look at the Switch version of this. I don't know if there's a way to get rid of that little start and suspend option at the bottom there. I have not seen a way to get rid of that. This one is a much more direct port of the Shadows of the Empire is not, sadly. That one, you can get it on PC though. If you have a PC, you can get that on Steam. Controls are a little janky, but you can work it out. I actually just played through it like a couple of years ago. 2-3 years ago. And yeah, we get again a much more direct port here. No, the Xbox version when you first launch it includes some like MGM and Eon Films and some other, the company that handled the port and all this. If I'm not mistaken, this is literally just the N64 like ROM being emulated by the Switch hardware. I don't think there have been any changes to this at all. And that is sometimes a benefit and sometimes a detriment to the game, which we will see in just a second here. So if we pop in again, we'll just play through the same missions I just did. Oh god, what is happening here? Okay, the controls are already a bit of a mess. I'm having to use the right stick here to move my cursor. The left stick won't move it. That's good. And part of that is because, we'll get into this in a second, if you don't do some very fancy rebinding of the controls on the Switch, you are in for a terrible time. The default controls for this are either going to put all of your movement on your right stick and your aiming on your left, or a weird split where you strafe with the right stick and look up and down, and then turn and move forward and backward with the left stick, which is, not really what humans are designed to do after, 20 some years of games training on how to play a video game. There's also a bit of an oddity that the sensitivity is ridiculously touchy. Like, if you just tap the sticks, you are looking like 90 degrees from where you were looking originally. It is really, you're going to see I'm very twitchy here. And that is because there is no sensitivity options at all. Like, the tiniest taps will move you, like, huge amounts of distance, which can make it a little touchy to aim. For an example of what I'm talking about with the controls, if we just real quick pop out to here, and I zip over to this, and we scroll down to my controllers and sensors, I say change button mapping, in order to get this into a state that feels like what you would expect out of a modern console. The left Joy-Con, I have remapped the left stick to be the right stick, L to be B, ZL to be L, and then on the other one, I have ZR as ZL because they have fire on the left trigger for some reason instead of the right trigger. So we were able to get that moved over, and then weapon switching back and forth using the bumpers by assigning A and B to those, and then swapping the sticks to the other side. So that when you're because normally the movement would be all on, if you get movement all on one stick, it puts it on the right stick. So you can swap them with that. Save it as a preset as the Goldeneye preset, and then you'll actually have something that resembles modern controls on here. As far as graphics go, they look pretty similar. There might be some anti-aliasing on the Xbox version. It's a little hard to say. Things do look a little more jaggy on this than what I was just looking at, but that might just be my eyes. I wasn't paying that close of attention. I'm sure if you look at some screenshots, you'll very quickly be able to tell. Frame rate does seem to be a little more stable and possibly a little higher on this version. Although I don't think this is running at a full 1080p. Let's take a look at my watch menu real quick. Well, for one thing, the gun isn't animated. Ah, there it is. Okay, so the gun's animated here. Yeah, this might not be a full 1080p. It's hard to say. Again, I would have to get out, a ruler and count pixels or something, but it might not be quite as crisp as what we were seeing on the Xbox. It's running a heck of a lot smoother. The Xbox was having some very odd, movement lag, although I think part of that might be how they handle their ports. A big part of the movement in, GoldenEye is, running at an angle to get a bit of strafe in there as well, and something with the way that ports over to an Xbox controller has always been a bit touchy. If you played the Perfect Dark Xbox Live version, you probably saw that as well in there, where there's I don't need this. We're on Special Agent, I don't need the modem. It would always stutter a bit if you tried to get your angle run going. Here it's nice and easy, just push it at an angle and away we go. We're moving at nice fast pace here. Get down here. Oh. This uses the much more traditional aiming thing, because again, I think this is literally just the ROM of the original game running on an emulator. So, nothing too fancy there. Come on, get down here. It's got reasonable visual effects. The nice thing with this one, the one that really makes it stand out as far as I would maybe pick the Switch version as the version I wanted to play over the Xbox version, is the online multiplayer, because this does allow for online multiplayer. As a matter of fact, if anyone would like to test that out with me, let me know. We can swap friend codes and we can do a quick online match just to see how that works. if you own a Switch and you have the expansion pack, it should be up and ready to go. It took me about a minute and a half to download this. Thankfully, a very small update, which again makes me think this is literally just the like original N64 version without a huge amount of additions going on there. Wait, what are my... Okay, gain entry, contact double agent, rendezvous 006, destroy tanks, boom. Alright, easy. I don't think we're going to have a dedicated crouch button here. Probably not going to have a dedicated crouch button. So is that going to be this? Okay. Holding aim and then pulling down on the stick. Right. Something in the back of my brain was like, that's how you crouch in this game. We're good. And then tap aim to get back up? Yes. Only a single level of crouch as opposed to perfect dark. Okay. One thing I wanted to test, and I didn't test this on the Xbox version. Can you get back up into here? You used to be able to do it if you... Yes! That still works. Stand in the toilet seat, hold aim, spin in a circle while strafing the other direction, and you will eventually pop up into the... Was it this way? Yeah, there we go. Pop up into the vents. This way? Maybe it's this way. No matter which way you spin. And once you're up there, you can get back over to here and you're good to go. Right, okay. So that is still the super awkward way of getting up into the vents. Got it. I think I just want to zip around here. Uh-oh. We're good. Okay, doors activated. We can skip past here. Bye. Oh god. I don't suppose Doctor's in here, is he? That would be very convenient. I don't suppose I have a gun that would be better than this, would I? Yeah, it is very much a one-to-one emulation with no enhancements from what I can tell. Which, again, isn't necessarily a bad thing. I'm not trying to knock this or anything. It does... I think it might be running at a slightly increased resolution over what the N64... Oh god, that's bad. Door was closing behind me, so I couldn't back up. So I would say this is roughly equivalent to what you could get if you were running, like, Project 64 emulator. Oh, I keep forgetting my buttons are all screwy on this. Like, if you were running an emulated version of the game, with the resolution set to whatever you wanted it to, that seems to be about what you're getting on the Switch version. Which, I mean, that's... I mean, how a lot of people, if you wanted to, if people for years had been recommending, like, what's the best way to play this if you're someone that just wants, not a speedrunner or something, but just wants to play the game because you enjoy the game, that's probably the way I would have recommended playing it. I don't think they did anything, like, terrible here. But it is still a little disappointing when we get to the next version we'll be taking a look at. Alright, get out of here. And the controls on this are wonky as hell. I am very much not a fan of the control scheme that the Switch set up for this. It is awful. Like, this honestly hurts my brain. And it's so hard to control. For no reason. Like... Oh. Like, the sensitivity, the lack of any sensitivity options, even under, like, the Switch controller rebinds, oh god damn it. This makes this a nightmare to try to play. Yeah, get in here. Hit that. Alright, there we go. Like, trying to aim with any kind of accuracy is basically impossible. I am not good enough to do the fancy little peeks I've seen people do. You can, if you're speedrunning this, you can do some tricks to look through these windows using the KF7 to check if he's in here. We're going to be doing this the manual way because I definitely am not that good at this. Bad luck. Nobody around here. Oh. Okay, should be this way. Oh, we're good. I've still got plenty of ammo, so I think maybe the ammo thing was just my brain. Maybe it's because on 00 Agent you don't get as much ammo. That's possible. Oh my god, there's so many of them. Okay, that should be fine. I mean, this does seem to be running well. The Xbox version was having some performance issues, which is a little odd because I think if either of the versions was rushed, I'm pretty sure it was the Switch version that was the more rushed version. The controller thing is, I think, mostly due to the way the Switch handles. It's like, okay, where the hell is Doak? He should have been in one of these rooms. Doak? Can he be? Oh, he can be on the other side. God damn it. Always in the slowest possible place. The way, we'll take a look at this here actually. If I look at the suspend menu, and you go over to your user guide, this is how the Switch handles its emulation for all N64 games. For every N64 game out there, the control stick is assigned to left stick on your Joy-Con. The D-pad is assigned to the buttons on the left Joy-Con. Your C buttons are assigned to the right stick, and A and B are put onto the A and B buttons, and they double up C left and C down for some reason on those other two buttons. I don't know why they would make it C left and C down as opposed to like C left and C up. That seems odd to me. And then you can hold ZR plus the stick for applause in online play. I don't know what that means. And you can hold ZR plus the face buttons there to map the face buttons to just be a 1-to-1 match of the C stick without A and B. And there is no rebinding that. Now, what I did was go in and rebind my actual Joy-Cons, because you can do that with Switch, which is really cool. You can rebind your Joy-Cons completely. So I swapped my Joy-Cons so that my Switch is treating my left stick like the right stick and the right stick like the left stick to get the C buttons onto the left stick and the joystick onto the right stick. And then I went into a controller setting in the game. Oh, God. How do I get back to this? In-game, I went in and switched to a controller setting, 1.2 solitaire, which puts movement on the C buttons and aiming on the stick. So then it's the way you would expect it to be for a video game made in the last 2 decades. Which is a little convoluted to get, you know, the same setup that Xbox came with by default. But again, I think that's more of just a limitation of how the Switch handles its emulation, because it doesn't let you rebind specifically like controls in the emulator. Okay, I see 2 guards up there, and I see my guy over there. Okay, Doak, I need you to not die for a second. Will you? Okay, cool. I think we're good. I think he gave me everything I need, and now we just need to get out of here, and I think he needs to not die. I don't know if this is going to be a problem. Also, a fun one if you didn't know this for some reason. Dr. Doak is both named and his face is based after one of the lead devs on the original game, David Doak, who's been active on Twitter the last couple of days. A lot of the original, like, Goldeneye devs have been pretty active on Twitter the last couple of days, discussing the game with fans and stuff. They were kind of left out of this, which is a little annoying because none of them work for Rare anymore for the most part. And Rare didn't like reach out to the original devs at all to like involve them in the re-release of this game. Likely because Rare was kind of looking at it as, well, this is our game, not yours, which is a little disappointing to see. Oh, you activate the door with it. Sure. That makes sense. Alright. Let's get through here. I want one on you. No, get out of my way. Okay, and then... Can I get you, like, out of the way, maybe? Would you care to maybe not stand in the middle of where I'm about to blow up the room? Hopefully that's good enough. Yeah, objective complete. Away we go. All right. Yeah, again, overall reasonable. Let's actually take a look at the multiplayer aspect of this, because I haven't taken much of a look at this. How does this work if you wanted to play online? I honestly have no idea. Like, scenario normal, that's all fine. I'm assuming the same levels are unlocked, because this is all basically identical to what we saw previously. I'm assuming it's going to be the same character select screen. Do you just have to make, like, an online party and then all launch the game together? I have no clue. Oh god, can I not even get out of this now because I'm in... Is there not a way out of this? Oh no. Does that soft lock the game because I don't have other players connected? Are you kidding me? Is that just a complete soft lock because you can open the multiplayer menu and it sets it for 4-player, but because I don't have other people connected, I just can't access their screens to lock in a character, and now we're living here forever? Oh no, Nintendo, you didn't think that one through. Like, the Switch version is definitely a lot jankier than the Xbox version. However, it seems to be running at a higher frame rate, which is, I mean, baffling. I cannot figure out how on earth, like, the Xbox One is being outperformed by the Nintendo Switch right here. That seems roughly impossible, but alright. So how does this work here? If I wanted to... play online, I see. What the hell does play with everyone mean? Settings. Ah. Interesting. Okay, so I'm assuming you just make a party and then it's going to treat it like you're playing couch co-op, except people across the world would be controlling the other screens. So you'd see all of their screens on your screen at all times, I think. Again, if anyone would like to test this with me, let me know. We can swap friend codes and we can see if we can get this testing. But interesting. Like, online multiplayer is definitely a benefit. It's a little odd that that's how it's going about it, and I'm curious to see how the latency is going to work with Nintendo's famously excellent online capabilities. Between the two of these, oh god, what would I recommend there? If I were going to say which version you would pick to play, like, this is definitely the more direct port of the N64 version. Like, it very much is just the N64 version, but on a Switch, which has its own issues. The lack of like modernized controls being one of the biggest ones. That can be a real stickler. If you're somebody that's still playing like Goldeneye on an N64 on a regular basis, this is probably great. I'm curious to see if speedrunners enjoy this one, because I know they made an N64 controller that works with the Switch, and then you just get direct one-to-one N64 controls on it. Oh, well, hello. Thank you for the raid. And actually, 1 second here. Can use that fancy new shoutout command I set up yesterday. Hope you're doing well. Goldeneye, fantastic. How did it go? Which version were you playing? The classic N64 version, the Xbox, or the Switch, or the secret Xbox Live version that doesn't exist, and we definitely didn't steal. Pop back into this for a bit. I mean, either way, okay, you can even see here the copyrights are still the original copyrights. The Xbox version does have the copyright updated to 2023. You have every version, okay, good. Yes, same. That's actually what's up next, is we're going to take a look at the secret version that definitely doesn't exist. Oh! Well, if you wanted to try the multiplayer, let me know. We could try the multiplayer right now if you're free. I mean, I don't know if I mean, it looks like you just did a raid, so I don't know if you're still streaming or done for the day or about to pass out. But if you wanted to try the raid, the online, we definitely could. Xbox Live and the modded Xbox, Switch, and N64, fantastic. I don't have the original N64 version at the moment. I think I have maybe a very legal ROM downloaded somewhere, but I don't actually use it because there's better versions. Yeah, do you want to give it a shot? Here, 1 sec. I'm very much not opposed to people sending me friend requests, so screw it. Let me just, where the hell do I go to show there's my friend code. If you want my friend code, there it is. Oh, I can use yours. Okay. Add friend. Oh god, how does this work? Search with friend code. Why is Nintendo such a bizarre company to do this with? All right, if I do this, there you go. Let's see if that worked. The goofiest of online setups. It's so funny to me that the version of this. Hey, there we go. All right, so how do I get this to work? Stream's going well, thank you. How was your stream? Did everything go well for you? Hopefully it's all well. Did you have fun figuring out the controls for this on the Switch? Because oh my god. The controls for this are an experience. Okay, so if I do play online, is that what I want to do here? Unable to find any friends currently playing. Okay. So I'm assuming that you would probably need to launch this. And then let me know once you're launched. Yeah, I haven't messed around with the online. Okay, maybe you know how this works. If I choose play with everyone, does that just randomly match me with people, or do you need to play with specific friends? Okay, let me. Oh, that's not what I wanted. What the hell? Where are we now? I don't want voice chat. I want this. Other Y. I was just playing on an Xbox too. There we go. Just with friends. Okay, that makes sense. I guess, yeah, we'll see how this works. I have not seen how this works as far as the multiplayer goes. So it looks like Daisy here is controlling all of this. Oh. Cool. Hopefully this is all working correctly. Okay, there we go. 2. Yeah, control style, I am definitely going to want that, yeah. I'm fine with whatever settings, by the way. I don't care about any of that. Oh, we got a couple levels unlocked, too. Bunker, Archives, and Cavern, and then Egypt must be the last one there. Who do we got as far as... Oh, I wanted to see something here, actually. If we go through... This is something I was curious about. Ooh. Are the other bonds not here? Interesting. Did they edit them out? Because there were 3 other bonds available in the N64 version. Huh. Because that was one of the big hiccups with the Xbox Live version, is that they had to cut them. Oh, was that only with the Game Shark? Ah, I thought that was available just off the bat. Because I remember that was one of the hiccups they ran into with the Xbox Live version, is that they were having problems with some of the other bonds being available, was causing like copyright issues. I don't believe so. You can set... It's weird, because you can set your resolution in the menu to 16:9, but that doesn't actually seem to do anything. Like, the Xbox version definitely does have 16:9 support. I couldn't seem to get 16:9 to be, like, a thing in this. Alright, what are we looking at? Oh. Oh, God. Ah, you've got body armor. That's part of why this isn't working as well. Oh, God. The classic. All right. Back in we go. God, I don't remember any of the layouts of this. I'm going to be so lost, too, because I spent so much time playing Perfect Dark. So all the, like, weapon spawns and stuff, I'm expecting them to be in their, like, Perfect Dark locations. Hello. There we go. All right. Oh my God, the characters get so bloody in this. Oh, come on. All right, there we go. Golden Gun on Aztec, yeah. Oh man, the levels in this were so good. I mean, admittedly, like, oh, hello. A lot of the best ones ended. Oh, all right, I was barely hanging on there. Fair play. A lot of the best levels. Oh, it's back there. That's right. Ended up making their way over into Perfect Dark, which maybe we'll take a look at when we're done with Oh God. I will say this seems to be like connection-wise and everything. It's fine. Like. Like, there doesn't seem to be a huge amount of latency issue or anything. I don't know where you're like playing from or streaming from, but like it seems like it's running pretty well, and I'm not getting like horrible amounts of. Oh god. Come on. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Yeah, I'm not getting like horrible amounts of lag or anything. Which again, impressive for Switch's online. Switch's online struggles at the best of times. Okay, if I can find where that armor is, I would be in pretty good shape. I don't know that I'm going to be able to, though. Oh, actually. Hello. That ought to help. It is nice having this back, though. It's like, whatever gripes there are, whatever minor like performance issues or graphics issues or whatever there is, that's like, oh, this isn't quite as good as I would have liked. It's just nice having this game playable again after 26 years. Like, I am going to be very limited on my complaints. How can I not jump down there? No kidding. Ah, all right, one more down. 4-2. Let's see. Let's take a look at the old stats. Shortest innings and where's the armor? I mean, that was very accurate. All right, I think I'm gonna just do one for now, Daisy. Appreciate it. I did just kind of want to take a look and see how that worked, which is cool to see that it works at all. And I just want to check how the connection works. It seems to be working quite well. But yeah, I think I'm gonna ditch out. Why is split screen? You're not playing local split screen. So I believe that's because the way this is working. And here I'm gonna dip out, Daisy, so I'm not keeping you tied up while I'm doing this. Hopefully that closes it correctly. Is that all I needed to do? Hope I'm not tying up your game or anything. I believe the way this is working is that it's just running like an emulated version of the N64 game and sending the inputs across the network, not an actual like lobby setting, if that makes sense. Like they didn't modify the code of the original game at all, from what I can tell. This is just the original unedited game code from the N64 running on the Switch, which means that it only supports split screen local multiplayer. However, the Switch is able to cheat the system a little bit and send the inputs across the network, allowing you to play local multiplayer online. If that makes sense. If what I'm saying is tracking through. I believe that's what's happening here. Which is a pretty cool idea. Like, it's neat to see that they have that for a few of the other games on here as well, that you can actually play like online multiplayer with some of these that you normally would not have been able to play online multiplayer with. I can't remember which. I'm assuming like Mario Golf probably does. Wave Race probably does. Mario Party you can do. Which, yeah, it's an odd system to do it, but I suppose it works. Which, fair enough. And again, it's a neat thing to have available. Like, we haven't had any version of GoldenEye released since the original. Any version that functions is a good addition. So overall, nice to see. There is one last version we're going to take a look at here, which I'm going to need to a real quick BRB and then get this all sorted out. I think we can just leave you there for now. And then I need to find this controller and plug this into here. Oh God. And hopefully this doesn't crash anything. All right, that goes to there, and then I want you to back out, and I want to have my computer monitor on here. Oh, 1 second, we need to pull some cables for this. Which means I need to have this on here, and that should hopefully put a second monitor of mine over this way, potentially. That should be putting my second monitor over there. Why isn't it? Ah, there we go. All right. I was like, I need my second monitor plugged in so that I can switch things over a little bit. Oh, God, but why does it look like that? Close this. My monitor looks so blown out over on this screen right now. Oh, it's because the stupid settings got screwed up. I know exactly why it looks all blown out. I want you to not be like that. I want you to be... No? Is that not what I want? Oh, for the love of God. Whatever. The color settings are a little janky on my second monitor. I'll figure that out later. Not that important for what I'm doing right now. What I'm doing right now is we are going to launch the Xbox Live version, which is the most interesting version, probably. And I think still, I would say the best version. Which I think I've hidden away over here. Yes. Launch you, and pull you up. And then we go over to here. And I don't want this capturing this anymore, so we're gonna go ahead and... Oh God, how do I remove you? Remove you. Let's do this. Capture this. And then last up, get you over. You're no longer the Switch version, you are the XBLA version. This 200-step process should allow me to, if I hit this, ta-da! The fanciest version that never actually got released. So you can see here the original N64 models along with their remastered models. This was a project that was taken apart by Rare starting around 2006 from what we know, where they had gone in and actually planned to do an actual remaster of this game, like ground up, beautiful new texture work, you know, native controls for the Xbox. You can see we've got the shiny A button there, some extra options and all this stuff set up. You've got all of your fancy new menus, credits, return to Xbox Live Arcade, which just doesn't work here. Everything was done. They had completely finished the game. You can see again, we have local and system link options available for this. Characters, we've got all the famous characters in here and ready to go, as well as all the extra unlockables and stuff all set to go. Yeah, whatever. Back out of this. It's one more option selected. Unequal character heights. Oh, right. Because they'd added an option to fix Oddjob, where they made everybody the same height, so Oddjob wasn't a horrible cheat anymore. But yeah, fully finished game. And then they ran into copyright issues and licensing issues and had to pull it at the last minute. And it just sat there on a shelf, like completely finished and untouched for ages. And then about 2 years ago, I think it was like late January, early February of 2001, someone got a hold of the source files to this and recorded a full playthrough. And there'd been a couple of leaks over the years that, like, rumors that something like this existed, but a lot of times it got shut down as, oh, they probably were just talking about it. And the couple of times, like, pictures that showed up, people just assumed that someone was running an emulator with an HD texture pack installed, and that this didn't actually exist. And then, yeah, about 2 years ago, someone leaked a full playthrough of the entire game, and it was like, wait a minute, how is this possible? Like, apparently this does exist, and at that point, someone leaked the file online. and people were able to get it up and running, and I went through and played through the whole thing, because I'd never actually played GoldenEye up until that point. I'd played, like, multiplayer, but I never owned it, so I never played the single player. So it was about 2 years ago was the first time I actually went back in and played this. And again, for comparison, we will go through and show this all off the same we've been showing it on the other ones. Fun one, you can actually toggle back and forth between the graphics settings here if you want. So if you want the good old-fashioned N64 graphics, which are running at their actual, you know, I think it was 240 resolution is what that runs at on the N64, 320 or something. It's really awful. Like, this is what the N64 would have looked like if you were playing it on like a modern TV. So either of the versions we just played is already a significant step up from this. However, that's not what the real appeal of this version is. The real appeal is this, where you get a much nicer experience than what we were getting on either of the versions we just played. Like, super high-res models, well, I say super, compared to what we were looking at. Very nice high-res models. We got some nice, you know, explosion effects. We got all the fancy everything. It's still running on the original engine, so like, all the, yeah. This is definitely the version that should have launched today. I honestly am baffled that this isn't. When that leak came out like 2 years ago, first of all, there was a bit of like Rare trying to deny it for a bit, and then it was like, no, clearly this is like a finished version of the game that got pulled. And then everybody was kind of like fuffling about whose fault it was that it didn't get released, because nobody really wanted, I'm assuming for legal reasons, nobody could really say like it was Nintendo's fault, or it was Eon Films' fault, or it was, you know, whoever that prevented this from being released. Also, this is playing on an Xbox controller with perfectly modern controls, with absolutely no work needed. Like, everything behaves the way you'd expect from, like, Halo or any other modern first-person shooter. Again, absolutely gorgeous graphics compared to what we were looking at previously. And the fact that you can toggle this, which has become somewhat of a standard feature on, like, modern remakes. This reminds me a lot of, like, the, Combat Evolved, like, Anniversary Edition kind of thing. I think is the first one I can remember that did this, where you could just switch the graphics back and forth whenever you wanted. But it's definitely become the standard. And yeah, it is pretty fantastic. Like, if you can get your hands on it, and I honestly could not even tell you where to start getting your hands on it, this is the version to play. If you want to play just the single-player campaign of the game for fun, easily, this is the most enjoyable version out there. Like, by far. It is such a shame that this didn't get finished. And I'm assuming it is, again, just entirely down to copyright that this is not the version we got today. That we got the direct port of the N64 version. And down we go. Because this, I mean, graphically just looks leaps and bounds better than what you're seeing on either of the two consoles that launched today. Again, you can toggle back and forth a little, see what we're looking at here. It does also include some features that we saw, like click the stick to crouch. That's a little more... Wait, did I not... Did I just shoot his hat off? Okay, we're good. Alright, I got the key card. Give me the body armor. Oh god. Okay, through here, through here. The only thing I've noticed that might be a little different, this feels easier, and I don't know if it's just because the controls are so much better, or if possibly the AI isn't quite as good at aiming in this version. And I'm not like enough of a Goldeneye like expert to tell you which one it is. I mean, the controls are leaps and bounds better than what we were seeing on either of the other versions, like just miles. And the frame rate is like ace. Like there is no stuttering, no slowdown at all. This runs perfectly smoothly without any real issues. Oh, careful. We're good. Who owns the rights to this game? Indeed. Honestly, I couldn't answer that. Because there are a lot of rights involved. There's the rights to the James Bond license, which is owned by Eon Films. There's the rights to, like, the N64 version of the game, which I believe would be either Rare or Nintendo. Then you have all of the, like, music licensing issues, and then you have the, like, all the different actors whose faces appear in this. You need to get their licensing, and, like, it is a mess. Trying to navigate the, like, who owns what minefield of this game is a nightmare. And you see this with a lot of, like, movie licensed games. It's just impossible to try to get this all sorted out. Also, Dr. Rachmanov? Very much not Dr. Doak, because he was not involved in the making of this game. He had left the company by that point, and I don't remember you guys being there. Can I get door decoder by B button? Yeah. They let me use items with a single button press here. And Microsoft does own Rare, that's correct. So if Rare is the one that owns the rights, that would very much explain how they got the N64 version. However, I would assume that by remastering it, it would no longer be considered, like, Rare's... Because this isn't just, like, the original game being ported, they would probably have to reobtain licensing rights from Eon, and reobtain licensing rights from all the actors, and reobtain licensing rights for all the James Bond music, because this isn't just a direct port of the already completed work. And even with a direct port, they might still need to get all of that licensing rights. I'm not a copyright lawyer, and I don't know the specifics of that, but I do know that copyright lawyers can get, copyright can get super complicated. Alright, we're good. Pop into here. Oh. Grab the key. Let's real quick run down here and grab the tank. I need to take out the missile battery, I believe, and then just get in the plane. I think we're good. So we'll just head over this way. I don't think I need to do anything else with, like, the AA guns, so hopefully... My god, can I miss any more? Okay, can I... Are we good? Does that count? Boom, alright. 50 seconds, easy peasy. See if I can remember how to do this one. And yeah, like, as far as, like, graphics and fidelity goes, like, I mean, I don't see any reason, like, this looks fully complete. Like, there haven't been really any, I've played through the full game, I've beaten every mission on 00 Agent, like, I haven't seen any major, like, hiccups. Certainly no worse than what we've seen on the, like, the Switch and the Xbox One port today, or Xbox Series port today. I hope that they can get this sorted out, because also, to be fair, I don't know what the hell the situation is with these files. Like, when this was released online, it was very much like an unofficial leak. For all I know, they might not even have the original source files. This might just be, like, a copy of something that someone took with them when they left the company, kind of thing. Which might not include all the, necessary source files they would need if they wanted to, port this over to a modern console. No idea. It would be very difficult to say how much work would, need to go into bringing this to a modern console if they wanted to, but I hope one day they do. Maybe if there's enough, excitement around the releases today, we might see them sort out the, oh, the soundtrack to this is phenomenal. I actually just followed both of the composers to this soundtrack, Grant Kirkhope and Graham Norton, over on Twitter earlier today, because it is really top-notch. Like one of this all-time great video game soundtracks out there. Grab this. They also did a phenomenal job with Perfect Dark as well. For sure. This is, hands down the most fun version. Now, I know there's been some arguments amongst the speedrunning community because there's some pretty significant changes to the feel of the game with this one. And a lot of speedrunners were like, I don't know that I necessarily like these changes, which completely understandable if you're someone that's been playing the original version of the game for 26 years and all of a sudden this new version comes out of nowhere and there's some polish and some jank and some stuff that maybe isn't up to the what you were expecting out of a game you've grown to devote your career to. Yeah, fair enough. I don't think this is the definitive version of the game for everyone, but for a casual player that just wants to play Goldeneye, this is the way to do it. Hands down. It's so smooth and so fun. It's a real shame that it's probably never going to get a full official release. No. Okay, I saw a key card drop there, which I will need to deal with in just a second. Oh, get out of here, you. We're good. Hi, Scotty. How's it going? Hey, Zan. How's it going? Oh, you're fine. We've just been poking around. If you want to watch the VOD to see the comparison of the different versions, I've already kind of gone through that. And we're just kind of looking at the last version of it now, the Xbox Live version, which is very much the best version. This is the one. Dan is a friend of mine, IRL, and excellent Final Fantasy streamer. Actually, in a second here, I'll give you a shout out once I'm able to. Actually, Dan, you're a mod. If you want to shout yourself out, go right ahead. Please do. But yeah, when I came over to visit you at work the one day, and I was running the copy of this on a flash drive over to my friend, this is the version I was doing that with. Thank you! And yes, Persona 5, Final Fantasy 14, a lot of fun games over there. How do I... Oh, it's triggers to switch between the menus here. Interesting. Yeah, a cycle gadgets button. Look at that. Just phenomenal. How do I get to my... Here we go. I want this. I want the key analyzer. There we go. Boom. And I think we're good to go. Yeah, this looks so much better. If you're someone that played the N64 version and hadn't seen this version, it's just like, how is this real? Boom. Alright, door's locked. What? Oh shit, do I actually need that key card the guy dropped? Oh shit. Hopefully I can find where he was in the hallway when he died. I think it was... Uh-oh. He died a while back. Was it in here? Oh yeah, no, the hand definitely looks a little atrophied. There we go, security key card. We're good. Can you play this with mouse and keyboard? I haven't figured out how to do that. Because I'm not terribly knowledgeable on this particular emulator that we're using here. This is an emulator that I'm running, not the. You can actually, like, if you have a modded Xbox console, you can just put this file onto your Xbox and it'll play on an Xbox. You could Xenia mouse hook. I have no idea how I would even go about doing that. I'll Google into that though. Appreciate it. If you want the files too, like, let me know, Zan. I've got all this, but this speaking of soundtracks, oh my god, this is so good. And actually, if you go on Grant Kirkhope, the composers of the game's Twitter account, or Graham Norgate, I believe he just also posted this. They have a list of who wrote which soundtrack, like which song for the entire soundtrack. Because it's always been kind of, it was, composed by two people, and they were never very clear as to like who wrote what. But they just put up a full list of it, so you can see who wrote which track for the whole game. Somebody was bugging Grant Kirkhope yesterday about trying to get a list like that up for Perfect Dark, so you can get the full version of that. Oh, thank you very much. Much appreciated. Oh, wow. I even get fancy shout-out alerts for following now. My gosh. Well, that's new. But yes, much appreciated. Thank you very much. Oh, God. I probably shouldn't stand this close to these barrels, but, alright, we're good. We're good. Okay. Grab that. Keep moving. I'm actually curious who all... We'll take a look at the credits here in a minute. I want to see if any of the names I know from the N64 version were involved in this or not. And if these credits are just the, like, N64 credits, or if it's the credits for the Xbox Live version. Because I'm very curious who was all involved in the Xbox Live version, because, man, they put a ton of work into this, and it all went nowhere. Until, like, 15 years later, when it very legally leaked onto the internet. And I'm definitely not violating any copyright laws at all by playing this right now. And I don't need to worry about, like, Nintendo or Eon Films or somebody kicking in my door in a minute. Door's locked. No, it isn't. Yeah, there we go. Oh, for the love of God. We're good. We're good. Okay, it should be this way? That must not have been the satellite that I need to take a picture. Also, have I seriously not taken, like, any fucking damage lately? Like, look at this. This is ridiculous. I don't know if they changed something about how the game plays, but it feels so much easier on this. Maybe it's just, like, the controls are that much better. That is entirely possible, but, like, man. Open up if it's the FBI. Yeah, that's fine. If the stream suddenly goes dark, that's what happened. I'll just hope they're busy looking at all the other Xbox Live streamers today, or all the other Goldeneye streamers today. They're too busy hunting to hunt me down. Alright, get out of here, Ormov. Bastard. Alright, I think he heads that way and we want to go... Oh, we go after him. Okay, we're good. Hopefully they'll never know what hit him. I'm sure there's a million people streaming GoldenEye right now with it being released on 2 consoles. It's crazy to me that it got simultaneous releases on 2 different consoles and that wasn't, like, pre-planned. Alright. Oh, this version is definitely the... If I want to play the game, this is the version I'm playing. Although, I probably would have happened either way, but I do have the cancellation of this version's official release to thank for another game that I absolutely adore, getting the best possible version of it. We'll keep playing this for a little bit, but I have a feeling that if they hadn't canned this, the Perfect Dark Xbox Live version likely wouldn't have happened. It was a soda, not a beer. The beer is all in bottles and in another room. Maybe I'll grab a beer though. We're gonna grab a beer. What is this version? Oh, this is the secret, definitely legal Xbox Live version that isn't leaked onto the internet at all ever. Yeah, this is the fancy version. This was, I kind of went over this a little bit, but yeah. Sony didn't get it. Yeah, well, because I think Microsoft got it. Okay, if I understand how this worked today, Microsoft had Rare do a update of the original game to get it to run on an Xbox, and that's how they enabled the native. They modified the code to enable modern controls and stuff like that, but they didn't modify any of the content of the game, and were able to get it okayed through the other licensing committees via that. And so that's how Microsoft got it. Nintendo, around the same time, likely spurred on by the leak of this, because about 2 years ago this version leaked online and got a lot of interest back into a potential release of this game. Nintendo was like, well, we own some of the licensing and copyrights to the original N64 game, so they decided to try to get it available on their Switch expansion pass plan. And on the exact same day, about, I don't know, 6-7 months ago, Microsoft released a trailer for their Xbox Live version of, or not Xbox Live, the Game Pass version that they were releasing of the original N64 game ported to Xbox. And a few hours later, Nintendo released a very hastily made trailer that showed basically nothing of the N64 version with a release date, just saying that they were releasing it, which very much felt like they were like, we better make sure we don't fall behind on the hype train here, and just kind of slap together something and matched Microsoft's release date. It very much feels like the Switch version was maybe not planned to be released today originally, but they didn't want to fall behind Microsoft on it. So instead we just get two versions slapped out at the same time, completely unintentionally. I'm going to be back in just a second though. I think grabbing a beer does sound like a good idea, so I'll be right back. Oh god. After I stab myself in the face with a fork. It's fine. Okay, we're back. And I have poured myself one very sloppily poured Guinness that ended up being 50% head. It's fine. It'll settle down in a minute. Didn't tilt my glass while pouring like an absolute amateur. Okay, hold up. Also, what are the objectives on Special Agent? I've been playing on a 00 Agent so much lately, I can't remember what the hell the objectives are here. Rescue hostages, disarm bridge, disarm engine, tracking bug on helicopter. Alright, we're good. Tracking bug? There we go. Can I remember where all the hostages are and how to get to the bombs? Possibly. Ah, we lost one. Alright, that's fine. Copy of Dead Space just arrived. Hey! I've heard good things. I saw PC Gamer wrote a little review of that earlier today, and they gave it really high marks. Oh god, that's not good. Hostage, please don't get caught in the crossfire. Oh god. Oh god. I don't remember where the hostages are, which means they're probably all going to get shot in the face because I'm not going to react in time. Oh god. We're good. We're good. Okay. How's this going? Okay, that's the engine room bomb. Is there another hostage like there is down there? Are you cool? Okay, cool. And that guy is apparently not interested in killing that hostage. Can we just like... There we go. We're good. Oh my god. I might check that out. I've never actually, like... I played through Dead Space 1 ages ago, but I never played through 2 and 3. Maybe I'll check out the Dead Space remake as a way to get back into it and see if I want to... Oh god, I'm lost. That's okay, I can find the bridge from this side. Maybe. Oh god. Oh no, where are we? Oh yeah, one thing that's a little odd here. Maybe they weren't entirely done. Like, they did seem to be missing some water here. Okay, if we come in from this side... Oh, are you dead or are you alive? Okay, you're alive. Hostage, could you possibly not, like, stand right there? One sec, I'll read that in just a second here. Oh, don't karate chop the bomb, for the love of God, you maniac. Okay, let's read this. When it was put to Nintendo, everyone there approved except they didn't check with the one guy who mattered. I believe it told response along the lines of, there's no way a Nintendo game is coming out in a Microsoft console. Ah! Fair. I wonder how they got the workaround for this, because, like, I don't think they had to get Nintendo approval for the Xbox version that's out today. I should go take a look at that. We should launch the Xbox version and see if Nintendo is listed in the copyrights anywhere. Because I know they list MGM and Eon Films. Like, they have a separate dedicated splash screen for them, and they have a splash screen for... the company that ported it. Whatever company ported it over to the Xbox. I wonder if Nintendo's listed in there. We'll boot that up in a minute and check. Alright. Pop back over to here. Okay, what am I doing? Break communications link, disable Spetsnaz aircraft, gain entry. Okay, break communications link should be fucking easy. Oh, this is why I remember shooting that stupid computer. Because you just shoot it. This time we don't need to power it down, we just blow it up. Bye. Oh, this is gonna be easy. Is there like a really obnoxious objective on this, on like 00 Agent, or is it just this easy of a level all the time? Alright, all the way around here. And yeah, I also want to take a look at the credits on this and see if we can get some info on, like... Oh yeah, it's don't get spotted by cameras. That's the objective that's really annoying on, Door is locked. What? Oh no. I need to find a feckin' key for that, don't I? Oh, this is obnoxious. Alright, I was about to say this was going to be the easiest thing in the world. Maybe not. Okay, if I were a key to that... oh, is it over in the really, the obnoxious bunker over here? It's probably in the obnoxious bunker over here, isn't it? This one. Gonna have a camera, like, right there, and I can just, like... Comms room key. Yep. Easy. Alright, that's fine. Because, yeah, I don't think that many people from, like, old school Rare were still here at this point. Like, I don't even know if Ken Lobb was still here at this point. Like, 2007, a lot of those guys had moved on. There we go. Communications link damage. Issa cake. I do need... Do we have like a mine or something? Yeah, there we go. We need to blow up this helicopter. Hydrate. Good point. Give me 1 second here and we'll hydrate on the end screen to the level. You there. And I think we just go in this door here. Possibly. Break communications link to... I did break the link to the bunker. Oh, that's fine. We'll hydrate here. That's fine. Ah, thank you. Beer counts as hydrating, right? Help and options. Credits. Who do we have here? Oh, we get them N64 graphics for this bit. You don't want it to be too spicy for Twitch. Okay. Produced and directed by Martin Hollis. Director of photography, Mark Edmonds. Is this the movie credits? Oh, original screenplay played Dr. David Doak. Okay. So they're crediting him as the original screenplay. Duncan Botwood. I don't recognize any of these names. E. Jones has been around a long time. These are some pretty sparse credits. Original music credited to Graham Norgate and Grant Kirkhope. Yep. Sound effects to Graham Norgate. Simon Farmer. I'm just looking to see if we see any mention of like Ken Lobb or Doak other than just credited as the original staff. Okay, so NOA, Ken Lobb still listed as Treehouse staff. Interesting. And then yeah, we get all the actors because they all had their appearances in here. All right, fair enough. Let's check something. I want to know now. We're gonna go to a BRB real quick, and I want to know if... Can I get out of this? Yes. If the Xbox version includes... Okay, how do I hook this up to get this to work? Xbox is connected to this one, I think. What is this cable connected to? This cable is currently plugged into the Xbox. Yes. Okay. So Xbox is going to go into here. And then that should be connected to here? Maybe? Oh, God. Attempting to figure this out is a mess. I have so many things connected to so many other things. Oh, really? That's cool. Okay, how the hell is this set up? If I go into here, and I go into here, and one moment, please. No. Okay, hold up. Wait, you're picking up the wrong... Huh? How does that make any sense? Then this outputs to my TV, and this goes to here. Why is it picking up my... What? Oh, because I'm plugged into the wrong thing. This... What? This plugs into here. And then oh God, there's so many cables. You have no idea how many cables are running in just random directions here to get this setup working. This is the one I need plugged into here. And then I turn this on and hopefully I resync the controller with the Xbox. And then they find each other. Okay, there we go. Okay, so we're good on that. So then I just need to go over to here and we go back to the active screen and we mute this and we go to, I add in a source and I tell it to add in this video capture device. And we go to this here, hopefully. And I mute this. And then I go to here, and then I go to here, and then I go to here. And hopefully you are seeing Goldeneye, but the Xbox version now. Because I want to see if Nintendo's listed on these copyrights at all. Okay, Code Mystics, Rare, Eon. I don't see them. Whatever Microsoft did to get this version up and running, they are not crediting Nintendo for this at all. So I wonder if what they did maybe was go in and like gut anything out of this code that Nintendo would have had a hand in, so that all that's left is the stuff that Rare did. It's like any reference to Nintendo, like hardware, architecture, systems, anything like that, maybe was pulled out of the code. And yeah, like there's not like a credits option from here. I wonder if that's what happened here. Very curious. I would, man, you could do like a documentary on the history of the licensing of this one game, because it is so baffling, like how complicated it's gotten. Also, just to show something off here, we're gonna go in. I feel like this version isn't running as smoothly as the Xbox Live version. Because we'll go through this level, which I just beat on Xbox Live, and like, as you saw, barely took any damage. Like, it was a cakewalk. And we'll see what we can... Oh my god, the chunky. Chunky. Mm-mm. Okay, through here, grab some more ammo. We're good. Okay, watch the scientists, try not to get any of them killed. Hopefully one of them drops the key I need. Would you like to drop the key? Thank you. Okay. We carry out... Man, controls are not quite as smooth as that Xbox Live version. Still pretty good. Better than the Switch by a mile. Like... the Switch version is probably the worst controlling version of all of them. Okay, back up a second. Okay, got the key card. Got everything we needed here. Yeah, we're good. Okay, we're good. Oh my god. Okay, watch for any guards in the corners, grab the key card, make sure we get all the data chips. We're good. I swear there was some body armor around here somewhere. Oh god. Okay, there's some body armor. Did either of you want to drop a key card maybe? No? You just want to give me a terrifying grin. You're fine. Alright. Camera. Cool. I think that's everything we need. Okay, there's Oromov. Oh god. Alright, get him to run. Back up. Kill you. Kill you. Alright. Oh, don't like that. Don't like any of that. Are you gonna die in the explosion you just caused? That would've been hilarious. Okay, done with that. Cool. Oh, I should probably switch the, Oh, for some reason it doesn't even show the, which version this is right now. Curious. Oh, and you know what? It wouldn't be showing a bunch of other stuff, too. Real quick, as long as we're doing this, we're gonna get this back to saying what this system properly is. This is not that. This is the Xbox One version. Alright, very good. Wait, what? Obtain telemetric data? What? What do you mean I didn't obtain telemetric data? What? Oh, whatever. Anyways, I think we've showed off most of the major version comparisons that there are to see in this. I'm going to be playing through probably all of this in my free time just because I want the achievements. That's cool. Like, having achievements available again is pretty darn neat. Did we get any new characters or anything unlocked here, by the way? Oh, God, no. I don't remember how the character unlock system works. Apparently not. What, like, levels? When do you unlock levels? I have no idea. Whatever, it's fine. I think as one, like, last little send-off here, I'm going to go in real quick and edit something about the stream. I want to take a look at Perfect Dark, because it's just one of my favorite games, and screw it. Like, as long as we're taking a look at, like, classic, old-school, rare software shooters from this era, Perfect Dark is a gem, man, and forget all of this. Don't play Goldeneye. Goldeneye is for losers. Play Perfect Dark. Edit stream info. We'll real quick pop back to the old home page here. And I'm just gonna pop in a, like, Perfect Dark later. Pop that in there. We'll go ahead and pop in the old Perfect Dark. And also, where the hell is my Perfect Dark, the new one? There's supposed to be a new one. Alright, because I do have it right here. We can just pop into this real easy and get this going. Because if we're going to take a look at these old, like, rare shooters, this is the best one. I've also, as you may have seen on there, Time Splitters 2, which is also made by a lot of the same people that went and made like GoldenEye and Perfect Dark. They went on to make their own studio. I can't remember the name of it off the top of my head. Is it Free Radical Design? Is that the name of it? It might be Free Radical Design. And they went on to make, yeah, the Time Splitters games, which are really fantastic as well. And are basically kind of a, like, spiritual successor to this style of, like, old school shooter. How are we doing here? That's odd. I'm definitely farther than that. Oh, am I farther than that on my Xbox 360 version? I probably am only farther than that on my Xbox 360 version. Whatever, that's fine. We'll just start from the beginning here. Sorry, I have like 4 different versions of this as well. Apparently the Xbox One I don't have that much progress on. It's the 360 that I have all the progress on. That's fine though. We'll just play the start from the start here on this. Also, as a side note, this game is set in 2023, so this is contemporary. This is what the world should look like right now.
Why the big hurry?
If Dr. Carroll is not extracted tonight, Datadyne will put him through mind conditioning, and we'll lose our best chance of finding out what Datadyne are up to.
So I want my flying cars.
Don't joke. You have to be careful, Joanna.
Second Sight, I don't think I ever played that one.
Well, the owner is alive. If you kill them, the key is useless. Armed guards are a different matter, of course.
I'll have to give that a look. What was that on?
Work your way down the building to the ground level. Dr. Carroll will be in a research lab somewhere in the underground facility.
How will I recognize him?
We don't have an image record, and we can't find any official files. All we have is the name. Good luck, Dr. Dark.
All right. Also, it feels kind of quiet. Is it kind of quiet for you guys? I'm gonna take a look here at some settings real quick and see if the audio claims it's set as high as it goes. I might bump this up a tiny bit because it did feel a bit quiet in my headset, which makes me think it's probably a bit quiet for you guys as well. Hopefully that's not too loud. If it's too loud, let me know and I'll bump it back down. All right, what are we looking at here? Drop it on the roof. Look for some guards. I let the whole cutscene play out, which means I'm starting the mission at a slightly different point than I'm used to. Because time does actually move during those mission briefings. Aha! Alright, drop in behind him if we can. We're good. Okay, I want the cameras taken down. We're good. Watch for any more cameras. I don't remember where they all are.
The internal comms hub is nearby.
Oh yeah, I know. This is again Graham Norgate and Grant Kirkhope. Their soundtracks are just legendary, man. This is one of my all-time like favorite video game soundtracks. Like I will listen to this in my free time, just like as hype music. Oh, what the hell? What the hell? Uh-oh. I have auto aim turned off, which is coming from Goldeneye, maybe a bit of a shock to the system. Alright, pistol whip. You go down, you go down. We're good. Oh god. Out of there. Alright, one down. Okay, everybody's good over here. I don't remember all the objectives, but we're on 00, so we're 00. Now I'm getting it backwards. Perfect agent. I was calling this perfect agent when I was playing Goldeneye, and now I'm going to be calling this 00 agent. That's fine. We're just going to do everything we can here. Okay, once they drop the gun, they're dead. There's one more in there. Where is he? Alright, we're good. I don't think there's a... I just saw that out of the corner of my eye. We're good. Alright, one more floor down. I think we need to get the guy to unlock the computer for us. So...
Hey, you!
Getting a little low on pistol ammo here, which is a bit... Oh. Oh, don't mind me. We're just gonna sidestep that, and then, yeah. Speaking of pistols, I'll take two.
Yes, I agree. Personality is expendable in this case. No, I can start the process from my office terminal and delete the necessary files at the same time. I'll begin at once. Goodbye. Help! Intruder! Security, help me!
Alright, let this guy run ahead a second, because there's a fun little trick you can do if you let him go. He'll run ahead to the end of the hall here. Oh, I didn't actually want to do that. I got too close.
Don't shoot! Don't shoot!
Hold up, back up and let him run.
Help! Help!
There we go. If you leave him run on this floor, he runs to the end of the hall, opens this door, which is a little safe room,
Help!
Move it.
Don't shoot! Don't
and you can
shoot.
grab yourself a laptop gun. Alright, now then. Escort him off to the computer we need him to hack. In you go, buddy. Alright, come on. Also, all the artwork in this game is so cool, like... Come on, in you go.
I'm logging on now.
Okay, we need to be ready to knock him out.
Right, I'm in.
Unarmed. Once he's in, you go ahead and knock him out, because otherwise he sets off an alarm and locks out all the files you need. Hack your system. We're good to go. We picked up dual pistols off the guard we saw down below carrying them, and now I'm just gonna look for an elevator to the basement. One more stop. And down we go. And a fun bit for the way the difficulty in this game works. Each difficulty just adds extra objectives. So for example, what we just did there with escorting the guy to the computer is only an objective on Perfect Agent. If you're playing on Agent or Special Agent, you don't have to do that. I believe on Agent, the only thing you have to do is make it to the elevator.
Get her.
On Special, it adds in disabling the like security comms hubs so that you can make sure there aren't setting off any alarms on you or calling for reinforcements. Ooh, you got the limping animation there. That's kind of rare. Come on.
Got to be in the security room.
Okay, and then pop this open, deal with you. And boop. Oh, God.
One stupid gun.
Absolutely chewed to shreds. Yeah, you catch a face full of like a full auto burst like that, and you are absolutely cooked still. Definitely not what I would call an easy game. Fun game, but yeah, could definitely get obnoxious. Another thing we'll take a look at here, as long as we're talking about Goldeneye today, let's take a quick look at the combat simulator, because this is kind of the, up until today, the most recent sighting of anything related to Goldeneye. Because if you go in under... Oh wait, yeah. Under the match settings, now this isn't what I wanted. Go in out of here. Yeah. Where do I go for this? Is it game settings? Advanced setup, there we go. Arena, you can pop on down and see some good old classics sitting around down here. Temple, Complex, and Felicity, which they may have slightly changed the name to. That's fine. We'll take a look at this one because we did actually see this earlier when I played the little online match on the Switch. They did reimaginings or remasters of some of the classic like Goldeneye levels in this. This with some much fancier graphics. And it still has all the same look and feel to it, it just comes with all the nice fancy high-res graphics. And this also supports, this version that you're seeing here, the Xbox version, supports online play, because this game originally came out on the N64, and didn't look anywhere near this nice, but then they ported it to the after the cancellation of the Xbox Live version of Goldeneye, went ahead and did this, and ported this to Xbox Live instead, and this came with full online functionality built in, so you can go online on Xbox Live and play full online matches with anybody else who owns this. This was also included in Rare Replay, which includes a bunch of their other, top titles over the years. And actually, screw it. As long as we're taking a look at Rare stuff today, we've taken a look at Goldeneye, we've taken a look at Perfect Dark. Why not? Let's take a look at Rare Replay. I think I've got that on here somewhere. I don't know how to navigate the menus on this system very well. As a word of warning, I don't use this very often. How the hell do I find the list of games that I own? Where's my library? My games and apps? Is it this? Games. Rare Replay. Where are you? I'm curious too to see, because the Goldeneye version that they launched includes Rare Replay in the little icon. Did they reverse port it into this as well? I have no idea. This by the way is one of the best deals you can get on a game pack. Rare Replay is an absolute gem. let's see. Did they add Goldeneye to the menu in here? So if we take a look at the game gallery, Jetpack, Lunar Jetman, a Tick Attack, I have no idea what the hell that is. Saber Wolf? Underworld, alright, Night Lore, Gunfight, Slalom, RC. So far, we're not into any games that I particularly remember from back in the day, but we're getting there. The original Battletoads, I didn't remember that was rare. No kidding. Battletoads Arcade, Killer Instinct, that's a classic. Good old Blast Corps, Banjo-Kazooie, Jet Force Gemini, this is another gem. If you missed this one back in the day, absolute classic. Like, Perfect Dark, Banjo-Tooie. It looks like maybe they didn't add... Wait, is Perfect Dark Zero available in this? Can I play Perfect Dark Zero in this? What? This game was terrible, but... Huh. No kidding. Viva Pinata, Jetpack Refueled, and then you can kind of see the company just kind of died around 2008. They haven't done much since until Sea of Thieves came out. Sea of Thieves was kind of the revival of their company. But I think that's it for today. I did just kind of want to take a quick look at Goldeneye because there are 2 versions of it coming out today. It's a game I grew up with. Like, I can't really overstate the, like, cultural significance or impact of Goldeneye in the 90s. Like, I was, what? Goldeneye came out in 97, I believe? And I would have been, what? 11 years old at that point? That was the game that if you went to any kind of, like, school party or sleepover or birthday party or anything like that for about 4 or 5 years, that was the game you had in a console for people to play. 4 controllers, an N64, a copy of GoldenEye, and you'd be up all night playing that. It was fantastic. Like, I can't think of a comparable game to that for the, like, social experience it brought. For, like, small group social experience today. It's just incredible. And it's really cool seeing it come back. Even if there are some issues with the current versions that are available, where I would say maybe they're not the best possible version of it, it's nice having them around. So, thank you all again for joining. We'll see if I can find somebody that's, we got a handful of people here. Let's see if I can real quick find somebody that's playing GoldenEye, and we'll go visit somebody playing GoldenEye and continue on with that for today. And who knows, maybe it'll be enough to convince them to maybe release that Xbox Live version someday if there's enough hype about it. What do we got here? Anybody that I know? No, of course not. Nobody I know is ever online. Which version are you all playing? It's a bit difficult to tell because none of you decided to label it. That's a bit obnoxious. You know, we've got somebody here playing it with 6 viewers on the Xbox version. We'll pop on over to them and say hi. Looks like they're doing some achievement hunting, so that should be a fun one to watch. Let me just real quick see if I remember which version of the commands I need to give in order for this to work. God knows if I will. And again, thank you all for joining. As usual, if you want to follow me, the Twitter link down below is where I post any updates about what I'm planning to stream. We've been doing a lot of Morrowind lately, and I'm also partway in the middle of Darksiders 2, which I want to finish at some point, but Morrowind has absolutely sucked my soul in again. YouTube link down below for old VODs and archives and all that stuff. And if you follow here, it'll give you the live updates. So appreciate any and all of that. And for now, we're going to go raid somebody who is doing some achievement hunting in the Xbox Live version of GoldenEye. So thank you again for joining, and I will see you next time, probably tomorrow with more Morrowind. So take care for now.